Hello everyone, let's take a look at the polling features in Zoom, and I'll show you a trick that makes your life a lot easier. So let's say you're setting up your new meeting, schedule a meeting. You've carefully put in all the details for your meeting, and you're ready to go, and you're looking for the polling features. And you'll look and you won't find them here when you're actually creating the meeting. So you have to hit save. To find the polling options, you need to look at the details of your meeting. So for example, if you had your whole list of meetings here, you have to select the meeting that you're interested in. Otherwise, this is the screen that comes up automatically after you first save that meeting when you're creating it. And then finally at the bottom here, you see the polling options. So it says poll, you have not created any poll yet, add. And so this lets you save a poll attached to that particular meeting. And so you can put a title for the poll, you can have a series of questions within that poll. You type in your questions, you type in the different possible answers, and then you're set up. Now, I'm interested in this question here about the Chadwick experiment. I want the students to think about what kind of particle the mystery particle might be. So I have three options. So instead of typing in all that careful information about the question, I'm just going to create one generic question that I will constantly reuse. So this means I won't be able to keep the data that this collects, the student responses, but that's fine by me. I'm not interested in analyzing that. So type your question here. I'm just typing in the word question because Zoom will not let me leave this blank. And then I'll just put in generic responses, A, B, C, D, E, and F. That'll likely do for pretty much any question that I ask my students. And the actual responses will be part of the PowerPoint that I'll be showing them. And so now Zoom says poll 1. That's now registered as part of this meeting. And so whenever I use this meeting, I will have that poll question available. Now, let's take a look at how polling looks within Zoom itself. I'm going to share my screen. Let's say I get to this point in the class lesson, the Chadwick experiment, and now it's time for the polls. So I can bring up that poll, and you see it doesn't say much, just question, and then the possible responses. And I'll explain to my students that, of course, you only use the existing responses that are shown in the PowerPoint, and then you just launch polling. And now the students are able to offer the responses, and you would see the responses start to tick up as they add them in. Now, you can create the poll questions once you are in Zoom, once you are running your meeting, and it just comes up as the edit option here. But the awkward and strange thing about it is when you select that, it bounces you back to the web browser, to the web version of Zoom, and to that polling feature that we just went through. So that's a bit strange, but that's the way that polling works in Zoom. And so for me, just having one generic question like that and using the question and responses in my PowerPoint, I find is really handy.